And welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Heather Childers along with Bob Sellers. You know, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, just announced his plans for regional stay-at-home orders in counties where the intensive care unit capacity is dwindling. Governor Newsom also announced that non-essential travel will be temporarily restricted. And here to help us break down the repercussions for these orders and other things is former California congressional candidate Joe Collins and former Naval Intelligence Officer John Jordan. Thank you both for joining us. John, I'll start with you. How are things in California right now? How is it working for you and your business?
Well, in my business, it's largely fine. We're not able to see visitors right now because it's cold outside and we're only allowed to see people outside, not inside. This is going to get worse, Heather. Basically, the governor's announcement yesterday, it's a mathematical certainty that California will go into lockdown one region at a time. And the idea here is it's a cynical ploy by the governor to exacerbate the economic pain of Californians and America writ large, to grow political pressure for a bailout of poorly run blue states, which are teetering on the edge of bankruptcy because of in public employee pensions. So that's part of it. The other part of it is they want to ramp up the pain so that, when the vaccine comes out, they'll be able to take credit and put distance between what President Trump did with Operation Warp Speed and life going back to normal, because they don't want to give the president credit, and they do want to stick with keeping Americans locked up and masked up as long as possible so that they can then point back and say artificially, look at how many lives we saved, when in fact there's no science to support whatsoever that lockdowns really make a difference. So this is politics at its very worst.
Joe, give me a feel for how people are reacting there, if you would. I haven't been to California in a while, but I used to live there, and that's one of the most outdoor places on the planet.
Well, one thing I can say is, I agree with John. The people in California are over the lockdown, they're over the restrictions, and I think that we're over Gavin Newsom as well. The lockdowns didn't work whenever the coronavirus first came out. It's not working now, neither are the masks. And I think that this could be a great segue for the California Republican Party to start figuring out how to groom more candidates to start running for office, especially in urban areas where Democrats have this stronghold. But, a lot of people in California are over the lockdowns, we're over the restrictions. And in my opinion, they haven't provided any evidence to suggest that the lockdowns and the stay-at-home orders is going to slow the spread of the coronavirus.
John, since both of you are saying that you think that this is political, do you think, and although we're still in a holding pattern right now, if a new administration takes over in January, do you think things miraculously will change then?
No, they're smarter about the optics of this. And just to amplify one of the points that Joe made, is what they'll do is they will keep America suffering for about 90 days. Vaccines will become more widespread. And then all of a sudden they'll declare their victory. It's amazing. The dark days of coronavirus, Trump was to blame for everything and got no credit. But they need to put some daylight between that and happy times are here again. So that they can take credit and call it their victory to validate all of the bad things they were saying about Trump, which are largely unfair. They also they need to cover for the fact that they'd failed miserably in the science in lockdowns. For example, in Los Angeles, there was a lawsuit filed because there was no science at all cited by the Los Angeles County Board of Health and the Board of Supervisors talking about why outside dining should be shut down. There was a lawsuit about that. And then within hours, you had Sheila Kuehl, former Assembly Speaker in California and current LA County Supervisor and liberal Democrat, right after she was saying how restaurants need to be shut down in Southern California. She gave an impassioned speech talking about how dangerous it was. She was then spotted a couple hours later, Il Fornaio in Santa Monica.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite restaurants. But Nancy Pelosi got her hair done. By the way, John, I went out. I was just showing Heather a picture of the Jordan wine I got the last time we went to the place and carried it out to dinner, just to let you know, so other people can be aware of your wine. But Pelosi seems the hypocrisy we're seeing is amazing. We're seeing it from the governor. We're seeing it from Pelosi. We've also seen it, especially from Democratic leaders. We've got the mayor of Austin, We have the mayor, I believe it was of Denver. All these people are saying these things, Joe. Don't go out, stay at home, and then they go.
Yeah.
What's the consequence of that?
It's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the consequences is very low for those people. The only thing they get is public scrutiny. But at the end of the day, they still continue to do whatever they want to do. And just like you said, do as I say, not as I do. That's why it's absolutely important that we groom more leaders that take these positions that these current representatives hold. I think it's not conducive to the productive society that we're supposed to be living in, to have representatives that tell us to do one thing while they turn around and do another thing. I'm not a fan of it. I look to groom more young people to get ready to run for office, and I hope that this could be a trend that gets started across America.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I hope you get through it okay. I hope they start making better decisions, and I just don't like seeing businesses be put out.
Yeah.
You know, these restaurants are struggling,
Right.
and to tell them you can't even dine outside, that's crazy. So, Joe and John, thank you, gentlemen, for being with us.
Great to see you.
Have a good weekend.